Hey, 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 this is Kim Parkinson, and you are listening to Podcasting for Spiritual Women. Today, I have another coaching call recording, and I'm super excited because this one's a little bit different, and I think a lot of people can associate with it. So, Sharon Hayes is the owner of Reiki Master Sharon YouTube channel, and she's creating basically a video only podcast, which normally isn't in my wheelhouse as far as all the tips and tricks that I can offer. But I do have some experience as I've been around the block a little bit, and I've actually had several different YouTube channels along the way. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to just kind of work on this to help her just kind of grow a little bit more with what I know and see if she's willing to expand to maybe some audio. So we kind of go over a bunch of different steps that she can do right away. And then we also go right into a few things that she might be able to do if she chooses to go the audio path as well. So one other thing to note here is I chose to really keep this at a cost minimum for Sharon. So YouTube, as you know, is free, and then I'm offering to her a couple of really economical free options to create some audio and some content. So if you listen in really closely, you'll get a couple of tips and tricks that I have on how you can make your audio sound better and on how you can deliver your audio to the world with minimal costs. So this also will go along with episode 5, where I talk about how you can actually get started with a podcast for about $20 or so. I hope you enjoy this coaching episode, and I look forward to bringing you another one in the future. Let's dive in. Thank you so much for joining me, Sharon. Can you tell me a little bit about your podcast and who you are and what you do?
Hello, I am Sharon, and I have a page called Reiki Master Sharon on YouTube. I'm also available on Facebook, and I'm not really on Instagram and TikTok too much, but they are there if you find me. So I have a podcast style segment on my YouTube channel, which is called Meeting of the Minds. And I meet with different spiritual people in the spiritual community, and we talk about certain subjects that we feel are important for people to kind of, go over and think about and things like that. And then I also have a personal segment where I'm just kind of speaking in video about certain topics, which I call that Saturday Sabbath, which that is a weekly thing. The Meeting the Vines is kind of just whenever they come up. It's more of a fun thing for me. But yeah, that's who I am. I'm also a Reiki master. I'm a trauma-informed coach, author of the book Transmute the Shadow. I also did a book with my daughter, which was The Twisted Carnival Through the Shadow's Veil on Amazon. And I am a licensed massage therapist, and I really enjoy learning more about energy.
Awesome. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I love the spiritual niche. I love the spirituality of that. And thank you for your hard work as a massage therapist. I have also partaking in that venue as well. So, and I know it's hard work. I absolutely do. Yeah. So kudos to you. All right. If you were to wave your magic wand in 6 months, what would you like from your show?
From my show, I would like to be able to reach more people. I would like to have more steady people coming and actually knowing that it's there, coming every week to check it out and things like that. I would like to see some monetization from that, since I'm actually not able to do the massage therapy right now. So I am looking at other avenues of, making compensation for my bills and things like that. So
sure. Yeah. That's the ultimate goal. Yeah. Okay. And you have a course or something that you can direct people to, or do you have some way to work with you that you talk about in your show at all?
So I do have different things that I do offer. Like I have a program called the Oracle program, which is a 30-day course. But when you get into the container, I am not taking you out of it. It's based around a 30-day program. We have 30 days of journaling prompts. We meet 4 Sundays on Zoom, and we have certain things that we go over. We do limited beliefs, then we go into inner child healing, and then money mindsets and gratitude and abundance. But once you're in the group, then you basically can stay and go into other cohorts if you'd like. And then I also do a individual type coaching program, which is called Transformative Energetic Coaching Program. And I don't really talk about what I offer so much on specific videos that I'm doing in my podcast. I try to keep it more towards what the topic is, but I do have those things listed and I do make videos on those every so often, but I haven't really made a set thought in my videos where I'm actually saying what my offers are. Because I also do, remote Reiki sessions, and I do divine guidance with tarot and oracle cards and things like that too. So I guess to answer your question, I'm probably not using that as much as I probably could, but I want to also find a balance where I don't feel like I'm trying to sell people or go off of topic of what I'm talking about in the podcast too.
Absolutely. I totally get it. So my suggestion here is remember the old adage that selling is serving. And so my suggestion here is to add it organically as you're talking about whatever the topic is. So I did watch a couple of your videos earlier today, and this is going to be a little bit of a different audit because usually I just do an audio. So I'm going to kind of give you what I know about the audio, but we're going to try to also incorporate what I do know also about YouTube videos and stuff too. So it's going to be a little bit of a different audit than I usually do, but we'll get through it. So organically in a podcast, you could talk about your offer right away. Like just be like, I know that you guys have been watching for a while. I have this wonderful offer for a 1-month session, and I'm going to be talking a little bit about how we do this. And then you kind of organically then go into that, kind of dropping those seeds of, oh, she's got something. Oh, okay. Let me now go and look. Because if somebody is watching a YouTube video on their TV, that's where I watch most of the YouTube videos, they don't see those. So they don't know that there's anything to go click on unless you tell them in the video that there's something to click on. And you could do this at the beginning of the episode, or if it doesn't feel aligned, you could do it at the end of the episode, or even somewhere in between. Like if you're talking about something very specific and you know that was a journal prompt this week, how magical is that you could just tie it in and just say, you could also join this and you would have gotten this as a journal prompt. And we do this every month. And here's the link is in the show notes, but here's also some information, and maybe say the link if you have an easy link, in there. Alternatively, if you edit your videos, you could, maybe put like a little click here buttons or something in there. I do know YouTube allows you to do that as well. So
yeah, I haven't quite figured that out yet, but it is something that I could look into, And I do have a website, and I haven't quite updated it yet because the Oracle program is rather new. So I haven't really placed it into my website yet, but I definitely can do that too.
Yeah,
that way I could make it like go to ReikiMasterSharon.com and then you can find it,
Yes, make it simple, make it super simple. Don't throw a ton of links at them in the episode, just the one link to whatever it is that you want to send them to. And then that would be a great way to get them into your programs, right? Or get them interested in your programs. Now, do you have a newsletter that you offer?
I don't know. Okay. I have been considering maybe doing like a Substack.
Yeah.
but
Yep.
I haven't gotten that far yet.
That's okay. Yeah. One step at a time. So we won't, if you ever decide to do that, that's also a great place to send them. That was kind of where I was going with that, but not
Okay.
necessary if it's too much on all of the different pieces right now. My goal here is like one step at a time. And then when you're comfortable with that step, then move on to the next step, move on to the next step type thing. So I did take a look, and on your YouTube channel, you have the home with an introduction. I love the introduction. And then you have the playlist. Well, it is videos and shorts, but everybody's got those too. And some playlists. But the playlists specifically don't say which, like they say meeting of the minds, and then they say Saturn Day Sabbath, but they don't actually say that either one of those is a podcast. So I struggled trying to figure out which one of those was like your podcast. My suggestion, they do make a podcast link in YouTube. Like you can actually go to the playlist and then it says like start a podcast. You could put them all in there, or you could say like meeting of the minds, like podcast or something like that. I don't know exactly what the ramifications are in YouTube for this, but that's kind of like I didn't realize that those were the podcasts. I just thought, oh, they're not other playlists. So I had to kind of go through them all. So you got some views on a couple of different things here.
All right.
But as far as the name, so I'm going to start with Meeting of the Minds. Meeting of the Minds could mean a lot of things. So Meeting of the Minds could be a corporate event, or it could be, just a bunch of like bros hanging out. So maybe rename that playlist to Meeting of the Minds for somebody specific, or something maybe more honed in on what it is or in who you're trying to draw. My goal here is like keyword for keyword, who's that for? So that when people go to your playlist, they're not like, Meeting of the Minds. Is she having like a board meeting? I'm not watching that one. You want them to go and you want it to say like, this is very, we're talking
like
to
spiritual
people.
Community or something.
Yes, exactly. This is for me. I want to go watch that. And then I totally understand the Saturn Day Sabbath. I don't know how you say that without like, I almost said every time I read it, maybe because of my Boston accent, I was like Saturday. I don't know how many times you do.
That's why I do it, because I do it on Saturday, and Saturday is Saturn Day. But a lot of people don't realize that the days of the week are named after the planets. So because when I started doing Reiki, I seen a lot of things like energetically, and I started to see like I see things differently than other people. Other people usually see like an aura, they see a color, and I tend to see more symbols. Like I will sometimes see like triangles, like right side up, upside down. I'll see alchemic symbols for the planets. And when I first started, I was like, what does it mean? And what I came to find out is that somebody's sun sign I would see in a certain chakra.
Oh, fun.
And then it would resonate with the ruling planet. So then I would notice that it went from the days of the week. So Sunday through Saturday. And then I was like, okay, so if, Sunday is our highest chakra, and then, the root chakra is kind of like the more dense of them, then it makes sense that the Sabbath would be on your day of rest where you have the most dense energy. So,
love that.
because I struggled with that a lot when I was, growing up. Of why is the Sabbath Saturday for, the Jewish community and Sunday for Christians? And I was like, why would they change it? So once I seen that, I was like, well, I'm going to honor it on Saturday now because I understand it energetically.
Perfect. I love that. I love the name of it, honestly. But like I said, I thought when I say it out loud, I do say Saturday for some reason. Your brain just doesn't that. Yeah, your brain goes there. So you've got 10 videos in there, and you've got some great content. I know that your very first one, you talked about, you talked about death. You went right into it. You dove right in, which I love it, but you didn't have any description.
Yeah.
There was no description in there. But the great thing about YouTube is you can go back and you can add that.
Yeah.
So you can add that at any time, and you can add your links. There's no links in that one either. So if that was the only video that somebody found, they would know nothing else about you. So my suggestion, easy thing is at least just go in there and just kind of tweak those, at least with your link or some way to reach you or anything like that, just to get that. And so here's my tidbit about you. You mentioned before the call here that you didn't know exactly how to get these up onto audio. You've only done YouTube because, of course, YouTube's free, which is nice, but you're not seeing maybe all of the numbers. You do have a number of subscribers, so that's great, 285 subscribers. That's the beauty of YouTube is you can actually see those right away, right?
Right.
And you have 272 videos, so congratulations. That's amazing.
Thank you.
I would say out of those 272 videos, you probably have enough content to actually turn this also into another form of media, which is audio, right? So an audio podcast, you can start an audio podcast for free on Spotify for podcasters. And all that requires is that you, what are you using now for your editing software? Do you use an editing software or you just upload it as is?
Sometimes it depends. Mostly I just upload it, and then I do edit it sometimes if like I'm meeting with somebody and say, we've been talking in the beginning of the video and I just want to go straight to where I started talking. Sometimes I do that straight from my phone, like with the what's it called? Like the camera setting.
Yep.
You can do it from the phone that way, or sometimes I go into Video Maker, I think is the one that I have.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So I believe out of Video Maker anyway, I believe you can actually download just the audio, which is nice, right? So after you do your editing for your video, then, and this is this is an additional step, but I don't think it's going to be a hard actual step. And I also believe you'll be able to reach a ton more people too, because the thing about video, right? I do love video. I do have a YouTube channel myself, but if I'm walking my dog in the area that I'm in, I can't watch a video because I have no cell service in this area. And so I have a tendency to listen to audio podcasts that are downloaded onto my device. So this is not I need to add more content. This is, let me take that content and repurpose it even further and expand the reach of who I can serve, right? And who will listen. So again, Spotify for podcasters is free, and you can upload just the audio after you've edited your video and uploaded that to YouTube. Take the audio only and then upload that to Spotify for podcasters and release it as a podcast. Now, when you do that, you'll have to start a podcast. You'll probably want to get a piece of cover art or something like that. Make that cover art something that encompasses both the meeting of the minds and the Saturn Day Sabbath, if you choose to put them together, which I think is a great idea because that gives you content continuously, maybe sometimes twice a week, right? In your cover art and in your title, I would name it something that is very keyword driven. So manifestation on Saturn Day Sabbath, or for spiritual women or something, or spiritual people or something like that. And there's lots of different choices. I would definitely look at your keywords and who you're trying to reach, who's that ideal client for you. And then who are they? Are they busy moms? Are you actually speaking to moms? Are you actually speaking to nature walkers? Are you actually speaking to gardeners? Who is it that you're speaking to? And then really nail that down. And that is going to be your 4. So it's going to be, keyword of those. That's the content that you already have 4. And then the keyword is like nature walkers or gardeners or moms or things like that.
Okay.
Now, in this particular keywords, I do know also that you may be like, I don't know, maybe this is a hard thing. If you take the audio that you do have and you put that into ChatGPT and ask it to pull out the keywords, it will do that for you. So you can give that a try and see how that works. It's not always like SEO rich or anything like that, but it will give you a start, right? It will give you a start on where to go. And that might actually also help you rename Meeting of the Minds to give you something a little bit more pinpointed on who it's for.
Okay. Yeah, because I use ChatGPT a lot.
Yeah, right?
And I usually do use it to make my descriptions for my videos, but you're right. I would probably benefit more from, putting my website link in there so that it's not so hard for people to get in contact with me.
Yeah.
I know that sometimes when people have to take too many steps, then they're just like, forget it.
Yes, exactly. So, and that is actually one of the other things that we do with audio podcasts specifically is only drop 1 or 2 links in there. Don't drop all the links for and maybe even this is true for your Facebook page as well. I mean, your YouTube page as well. Is don't drop all of follow me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram. I know you said you don't use it as much, but all of that. Don't make it confusing for them. Just say, get my programs here, and maybe a link tree. I mean, you don't have to do link tree, but just one thing, and then they get there and they can make that decision. Ultimately, it would be hopefully your website page, and then they can make that decision. They can really get you. If you have a little video right there on your homepage, that would be amazing, because that would be hey, this is you've reached the right spot. And I just want to let you know, if you're looking for my Oracle program, it's here. And if you're looking for the journaling prompts, they're there. And, kind of make it fun. It could be a cool, little tidbit on your homepage too. So, yeah. So how does that feel, adding that extra step for the audio? Is that something that you think you would try to do? Do you want to dive more into that? Or are you no, not now?
I'm thinking about it. I'm considering it. I just, do you know if Spotify has specific requirements for their audio, like Audible?
No. So that's actually the good part about it. So I'm also going to give you, the name of a website that allows you to do 2 hours of free audio a month and make it to the levels that you need, not only for your podcast, but also for Audible. Now you do have to go to acx.com. That's the Audible, back of the house thing. And they'll give you the bit rate that you need. So you might have to change that in this program. But basically what you need to do is go to a website called Auphonics. So that's AUPHONIC.com. And I'll give you that afterwards too, so you don't have to remember it. And what you're going to do is you're going to load in your audio into that. I think they do take video now, but I don't know that you want to waste the 2 hours with video. It might be 1 hour for video, but 2 hours for audio every month for free. And realistically, it's a minimal price if you choose. You can pay one time. It's not like a monthly fee. It's a one time for 9 hours or something like that. And then what you're going to do is put your audio in there. And then at the bottom, it will give you bit rates for podcasts and audiobooks. And now you just have to double check it and make sure that it's the correct according to ACX standards. But for the podcast, it's already done for you there. You hit go. And what it will do is it will level your audio to make it sound louder. So you'll always have audio that is in the same range rather than having severe dips and really high notes and things like that. I use it all the time for client audio. You can actually add your intro to it and your outro to it too if you wanted to. You don't have to do intro and outro. How you're doing it's fine right now, but it will help you put your audio where you want it to be and where all of the players want it to be too. So yeah, you can absolutely do that. Yeah. Awesome. If you chose another area, which is not free, but Buzzsprout will actually do the leveling for you right inside of there. It's called Magic Mastering, I think is what it's called. It is an additional fee for that, but we're kind of trying to bootstrap this today. So I'm giving you all the tips and tricks on the lower side of the cost analysis here. So
Well,
how do you feel about that? Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I should definitely look into Spotify and see what happens. So, like, do you think with Spotify that I could maybe go into Video Maker and just get the audio out and possibly just upload it to Spotify like that? Would that be
Yeah, you
okay?
probably could. Absolutely. My suggestion is give it a try, right?
Yeah,
Publish it and then listen to it yourself before you tell
yeah.
anybody that you've actually like released it or anything. Just
Hmm.
listen to it yourself and see if you can hear it. If you can hear it, then you know that the audio is fine, and then just continue to release. If you're like, you know what, it's really faint, give the Auphonic a try, because the Auphonic will just make it louder for you, make it to the
Okay.
levels. So yeah. And I know it's an additional step, but again, every one of these steps that I've given you is there is a free option. So that's
Mhm.
kind of the cool part about it too, right? You can at least give it a try. When you get a lot of audio like I do, then you have to pay for some services, which is fine, but
Mhm.
it's a good alternative for like 2 hours. And your Saturn day Sabbaths aren't very long. It would only be like the meeting of the minds that maybe you could only do one a month or something like that,
Yeah.
So that's one step, one way of maybe getting more listeners out there, because those people, you can tell them that your new podcast dropped on their phone, and then they can go right to Apple or Spotify or any of that and get your podcast through that. So you'll want to be up on any kind of distribution platforms that you can get onto. And Spotify for podcasters helps you with that too.
So, do you get monetized with Spotify? I'm not sure how that works.
Yeah, no, it doesn't monetize like a YouTube channel. So you'll definitely, if you
Okay.
want to try to get to the monetization with the YouTube channel, I would definitely stick with that. As you
Mhm.
know, it gets to be a lot, right? There's a lot. You need to produce a lot of content. You need to produce a lot of shorts and things like that to get to the monetization stage. And I think there's like, so many views in a 30-day period or something like that.
Yeah.
So the podcast would be more for more trust, more accountability, more of you getting into people's ears and making
Okay.
sure that those show notes always have a link right directly to whatever you're showcasing in that episode. So if you want to send them to the Oracle, or if you want to send them to one of your programs or to your book even, you can do that right there inside that. And it's just for more deliverability. It's a wider audience.
Mhm.
They say that YouTube is definitely growing. I'm not going to say it's not growing, but it's interesting. YouTube sent out a thing not too long ago that said that, I don't remember the numbers exactly, but I'll say that more people listen to podcasts on YouTube than any other platform, which was actually them just saying that more people listen to it just on that one platform. But the actual numbers are that, yes, okay, so maybe YouTube has 35% of the people on YouTube, but the other, 65% of people are listening on other podcasting platforms. It's just, Apple's got maybe 25% of that, and Spotify's got 10% of that. And then all the other small ones have the other percentage. So in order to get the full 100%, why not expand to both video and audio?
Mhm.
It just seems like a win-win all the way around for everybody, right?
Mhm. And I think
How do you?
YouTube does offer a thing where you can download things if you did want to listen to something that was on YouTube. You could probably do that too. I know that you were saying that you usually don't, but like I feel like with my videos, you don't necessarily have to watch me to hear me. You know what I mean? Like, so you
Yeah.
could, like, a lot of times I'll just listen to, like, I listen to certain readers on YouTube and I don't always watch the video. Like, one of the ones that I listen to, she doesn't even have a video. She just has like a graphic, and then she just speaks and talks about her reading. And I sometimes fall asleep to that because her voice is so calming. But
Yeah. Yeah, you can
Um,
actually do that right in the hosting platform. So I use Captivate for my podcast, and there's
mhm,
actually a an RSS feed. So whenever a new podcast episode comes out, I added that RSS feed to my YouTube channel. So if you go to my YouTube channel and you click on my playlist, you'll see Podcasting for Spiritual Women there, and you get the graphic, but then
mhm,
all you get is my voice because the
okay,
podcast is automatically sent over to YouTube. There's
that's
no video
cool.
component to it, but it automatically gets sent over. So if you wanted
Hmm.
to only do one step, you could certainly do it that way too. So totally up
Yeah.
to you. Yeah.
So, what platform do you do that from?
I do
To
it from Captivate, but as
Okay.
long as you could even do it from Spotify for podcasters, as long as you get that, once you publish your first episode on any platform, any of the distribution platforms, you'll get what they call an RSS feed, which I know it sounds funny because I have a Boston accent. It's, hold on, RSS. Now I sound like a pirate. you know,
That's
the
okay.
Q. You know, the one that comes after Q. Q. Yeah, RS.
Mhm.
So RSSP, you'll get that link. And that's the link that you put into YouTube. When you go back over to YouTube, you'll see in the back of the house there, you'll see it says playlist. You click there and it says start a podcast or add a new podcast. And it will say, do you have an RSS feed? And you'll just put that right in there, and then it will automatically populate every time you publish an episode. So
Okay.
one step, and it's published.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna think of you every time I see that now. It's the RSP.
Yeah. Apparently, I'm part pirate too.
That's okay.
I love it. All right.
But yeah,
What else can I help you?
I think that would be interesting to, be able to reach more people because obviously that is the goal is to reach as many people with a positive message as I can. And,
Yeah.
I thank you for that
Of course.
because,
Yeah.
I'm always open to new ways and, with doing this kind of work, it's like there's so many options, but it's just I feel like as soon as you start, you kind of are like, okay, well, I got that down. Now I've, built the muscle memory for it. Now I can maybe take on something else. And,
Mhm.
I'm just kind of always trying to expand. And I think that's all part of the game,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Yeah. And like I mentioned at the beginning, one step at a time. If it's too much, no problem. Just do those small, tiny tweaks as far as like changing the name in your
Mhm.
YouTube playlist, making sure that each of the episodes have some sort of like link and some sort of description in them. Just little tweaks like that. Now, I noticed that you have the same title screen for each one. I know you can work on Canva on your phone and stuff like that. If you
Mhm.
had some really fun title captions there, those would be another way to draw people in. Like a lot of people, you'll see people and they'll like point to like some sort of like bubble in the sky or something like that, or
Yeah.
something kind of cool. So you could definitely play around with that in YouTube if you chose to just stay there, and you could
Mhm.
see like, oh, that title works really well, that caption title, that thumbnail really works really well, or no, that didn't work as well, and go back to the old one. They do allow you
Mhm.
to do all of that, which is really really nice inside of you.
Mhm.
So
Thank
awesome.
you.
You're very welcome. Is there anything else I can help you with today?
No, I think I guess that's all I have for today.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Podcasting for Spiritual Women. If you would like more strategy and tips and some tricks on how to make your podcast better, I recommend that you join my newsletter list. You can find that at kpcreativemedia.com/newsletter. Until next time.